So, I want to talk about how I believe that extrovert culture are the real victims to the manipulation of language and how I don't think that they're really happy. So, how we live in society, how it all functions is not how we are supposed to be living naturally. It's not native to us as humans. It's not healthy for us. And instead of acknowledging that, admitting that, changing that, extrovert culture just changed the meaning of healthy. In reality, solitude is natural. It's needed. Then they took that need, that natural instinct that we all have as humans, the need for space, they took that and named it isolation, which now gets looked at as something wrong. And they took the word boundary, which is a necessary, healthy limit and protections for us as humans, for our safety, they took us having boundaries and labeled that as being guarded, which is now looked at as is something wrong and you shouldn't be like that. And they took the need for us wanting space, needing space to recoup, and they turned it into being avoidant. And now it's looked at like it's something wrong and that needs to be fixed because you shouldn't be avoidant. They mistake you for being quiet, for you being lonely, and they look at you like you're sad. They take you having respect for yourself, respect for your space, for your independence, and labeled it as you having too much pride, that you think that you're better or something. They take you being selective with who you interact with for being standoffish and immature because you don't just get along with any and everybody. And they call being always needed, not having too much time to yourself, having too many people around you constantly overstimulating you. They call that community. That's what they call community. Being overstimulated all the time and not having space and peace for yourself. They call that community. They call that coming together. They'll shame you for needing space instead of looking at the situation for what it is and saying that this is too much, this is entirely too much. They'll call that community. They'll call being way overstimulated community, which is crazy. They'll say that you're too independent because you don't like sacrificing your privacy all the time. They'll call that too independent. They call putting up with stuff that hurts being uncomfortable all the time, functioning without changing things in ways that make you actually happy and comfortable. They call that resilience. They call that being strong. They call sacrificing your happiness being strong. That's what they call being strong. They call endurance, you having to endure pain. They call that being strong. That's not being strong. It's sad and it's unnecessary strength. But you shouldn't tie that to your identity because that's crazy. Because all those things is not that. In reality, that's just wanting you to tolerate pain, which is like sad for real. Like, it's really sad because they flip the whole language around to compensate for denial. A lot of extroverts are just living in denial and they look at introverts like it's something wrong. Because I feel like as introverts, we just love protecting our peace. And it's sad what, we all be having to go through, in our own lives and personal situations and, in this society as a whole. But extroverts, they'll flip the whole meaning of words and rearrange your words to compensate their denial.